Welcome back to another reading and correcting with me, Kindar, the Tiger Writes, and Ty, the Tiger Supervisor. These are where I read a chapter from one of my stories and correct it as I go. If you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. And if you are looking to support me, that is on my Patreon. Today we are doing Chapter 37 of The World Which Is. The first thing Silver does is correct my pronunciation of Mount Rail. I just asked if she was from there, based on her accent, and I pronounce it the way I've always heard it said. Mount, as in a small mountain, then real, as in something that's real instead of imaginary. Turns out she's sensitive about it. It's Mo. The T is actually, whoa, Mo. Okay. The reason I didn't stumble over that is it's because it's not mo, because if the T is just silent, it would be moan. Mow. Mow. So mo. Own. Own. Moan. Moan. The T is silent, and it's more like M. Own. Like moan. Mo. Actually, not even mo. Not even that. How the hell? I cannot think of a word. Anyway, I'm going to stick it. Let's stick it. Stick to that. I'm going to have to look for a better way to describe it. But anyway, it's Mo, the T is silent, and real is with an accent on the E, real. So it's Montreal. Once she's happy with my pronunciation, she accepts my invitation to adventure in Brandon Stairs. You said we needed someone else, I point out. She's not who I have in mind, he replies. And she doesn't know us, so just why does she wants to come? She's right there. I tell him, how about you ask her directly? I want adventure, she says. Before Brandon asks, which annoys me. After treating her like she wasn't there, he should have had to address her directly. You can't be serious, he replies. Aren't you the one going out gallivanting for a chance to fight monsters and discover relics? I ask. That's not the same. I'm an explorer. And I'm a bard, she replies before I can point out not everyone who goes out exploring is as that class. I don't see how that explains tagging along, he says. Brendan, how about she just wants to help? How about you let me defend myself? She says, amused, and my face burns. Go ahead, Brandon says, smirking. I'm a bard. A bard needs stories, she cuts him off. And I don't want to just repeat the stories I've been taught. I want to have it stories of my own, and that means going on my own adventures. Wasn't the trip here adventurous enough for you? Brendan asks. Okay, what is your problem with her? I demand. People don't just hook up with strangers to go on adventures, he replies. Isn't that what you did with me? That's not, he closes his mouth. You don't know her. I don't know you. I saved your life. She saved ours. We didn't. I could have. He lets out a growl of frustration and gets to his feet. What's your health like? I asks. Mine has stopped increasing, a little under a third. I'm fine. That's not what I asked. I stand and offer a healing bar. Oh, I say offer him. That's how I get offering. Offer him a healing bar. I don't need it. I know Grit Strikes needs you to be hurt to kick in, but we're in this city. Do you think Xander hired an entire army to kill me, or did we, well, you, take care of them? He tries to calm himself. I can see that. Not that I understand why he's angry. When he takes the bar from my hand, it isn't quite a snatch, but he's ripping the wrapper. But the ripping of the wrapper isn't gentle. Come on, he instructs before biting into it and starts walking. I chew on mine as I follow. Didn't anything happen on the trip from Montreal, that you can tell stories about? I ask Silver, making sure to pronounce the name of the city correctly. I traveled with a caravan. I entertained them once we stopped for the day. The most adventurous thing to happen was some of them getting sick from food that had gone bad. That's. I'm at a loss as what to say. So, what's at the Knox? She asked. I don't know. Brendan, did you learn anything about the Knox? No. He slows his pace as we catch up to him. Look, Silver, I am sorry for my reaction. I'm not used to someone offering to help for nothing. It isn't for nothing, she replies. I get something from it. I get my own stories to tell. I'm sure that means as much to her as Dennis. He cuts me off, sounding slightly exasperated. I know that stories are currencies, all right? You can heal, buff, and debuff. How are you in one-on-one combat? I do my best to avoid getting into actual fights. You get that adventures nearly always end up in fights, right? I can help you by weakening the enemy. I can buff you a little. What level are you at? What level are you? Brandon asks. She hesitates. 5? Same as me! I grin and she brightens. Brandon sighs. Well, I guess I can't use that as a reason. Does your class come with any offensive abilities? Unless you mean me offending someone? No. I'm not the kind of bard that belongs on the battlefield. So you're pure support. You have mana. Does your class limit the spell you can get? No, although it gives me boost to certain type, like illusions and emotion magic. Then are you willing to spend points on attack magic if you get a chance? She hesitates, then nods. I want to be helpful. All right. Modifiers. Brandon sounds mollified. Do you have any available spell points? No, I spent them before leaving Montreal. I'm going to stumble over it often. Good thing shouldn't come up too often. Then we'll see to it you have some by the time we reach the next city. He looks at me. It's going to have to be Detroit. I was warned not to go there. I reply as Silver lets out an impressed, oh. I've heard stories about it, she says. And they're probably all true, Brendan says, which includes the one about it having the largest archive of information available on this side of the continent. Isn't it a city of thieves and murderers? Murderers, I ask. Oh, yeah. It's not the city for the faint of heart, but if there's any information on the Knox out there, that's where we're going to find it. We stick to the main streets as we cross the city north and slightly westward. The buildings improve, drop in quality, go up again, and by the time we turn onto a smaller street, I'd say we're in the middle ground area. The buildings are close together at first and separate until there's a yard in front and I see yards at the back between them. The whistle that escapes has Silver and Brandon looking at me. We don't have a lot of houses with yards in court. Even the mayor doesn't have one. Mr. Carbone and Lady Travell are the only two I know of. I know who do, and people are always on them to stop holding on to the land so we can increase the population and go up a settlement level. When a city gets large enough, Brendan says, population numbers aren't the only the only factors in growing. Quality of life is a fact. Quality of life is one. Toronto basically started as a city when the system arrived, so a lot of the original larger lots at the outskirts were kept and sold to those with more to contribute. And this person that'll help us is one of them. her parents. Her parents are. They left her the house when they decided the city wasn't for them anymore. And she'll help if I can convince her to. I'm sure you'll be able to, I tell him, since he doesn't sound confident. You don't know. He shakes his head. You don't know her. When he pauses before a house, it's in better state than the others. Not only the one-story, not only the one-story house, but the yard. The grass is lush and vibrant green. The two trees are tall, providing a lot of shade, and colorful flowers grow along a stone path leading from the street to the door. Brandon lets out a slow breath before stepping onto the path, and I shrug at the look Silver gives me. I don't know who lives here. Who can live here that's making him act like that? The door the door is wood and nearly 3 meters tall. While it's square and fits neatly into the frame, there's something about it that isn't quite. I mean, I don't know everything about wood, but I used to spend a lot of time in my dad's workshop, so I've seen him work all kind of lumber. He told me a lot about what he does back when he dreamed I'd be a carpenter like him. The wood in the door isn't worked. It's not made of boards, it's one slab without any marks from tools. Magic was used to make it. Brendan's hand hangs in the air for a long time before he finally knocks and steps back. A few seconds later, the door opens. A few seconds later, it opens and a woman stands in it. Her head nearly. Okay. A few seconds later, it opens and a woman stands in it, her head nearly touching the top. She isn't human. That's the first thing that registers. She's too tall and too slender, like if a human woman had been stretched to that height. Her copper hair falls down to her shoulder or shoulder blade and shimmers in the sunlight that makes it through the canopy. Her skin is both paler than mine and more vibrant. Her eyes are green and her ears pointed. Hey, sis, Brenda says in the silence. I need your help. And that concludes chapter 37 of The World Witches. If you are enjoying this, please leave a like. If you want to know when the next chapter is going to be up, subscribe and hit the bell. If you want to read the story, it is up for free on Royal Road. If you want to read ahead of Royal Road and support me in the process, that is on my Patreon, where we're about 10 chapters ahead, I think. And if you want to listen to these live, it's every Tuesday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time on Twitch. The links are in the notes, and with that, I shall wish you a good day.